Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Click of a Creator. Today we have Mr. Anirudh Gunturu with us. Anirudh is an experienced legal counselor with a demonstrated history of working with corporates and startups, assisting in a variety of practices, in a sense, in commercial arbitrations, mediations, commercial negotiations, business strategy, legal compliance related issues, and so on and so forth. We have a lot of things to talk about. We'll of course, put things in perspective for all of our viewers and for myself as well. But just to mention Anirudh's principle as well, throughout his work, is to show that legal counsel is not just needed when disputes arise, but also that a lawyer can open up new avenues for revenue generation through their practices and skills. Now, that's very beautifully said. And without further ado, let me introduce you to the man himself. Hi, Anirudh. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking, and thank you very much for giving us your time to so that we can also engage and understand and get some more knowledge out of you today. So to start with, we actually have a lot of things to ask you, but I've tried to create 5, 6 questions out of it. Uh, First, being in a generic sense, how would you, because you have spent a good time in the legal industry now, so how would you rate the current legal systems drive towards encouraging access to justice? And is there tangible movement in closing the justice gap there?
So, in terms of what it was maybe just even 5, 6 years ago, right? And to the terms that it was in today, I do think that the legal systems are trying to come up with the new ways in how to, to clear up dependency of these cases and to create processes much faster. And you can even see the judiciary also getting more involved in the field of ADR, especially trying to promote it more and then trying to drive parties to take that up as a mechanism first before coming to court. However, what I'm also feeling is that it can be done faster. It needs to be implemented much faster than what the pace is. Like, yes, it's good that we are talking about it and we have started promoting different aspects and mechanisms to start clearing up the cases and all much faster. But the issue is that the number of cases that we currently have is just going to be increasing even more and more. So we need to create the process needs to be done even faster. The implementations have to be done much more faster and promoted so we can start, looking forward to the clearances of all these cases.
Beautiful. There's another question that arises out of this situation is that while we talk about clearing the cases, in a hurry or much faster, I would say that's the right word to use. Uh, is justice really happening, or will there be any hindrance in terms of justice happening to the clients and to the individuals whose cases are there?
See, if you ask me, right, if when these cases are also have to be implemented and going for further, there obviously always has to be even professional grounds and rules and regulations which always have to be put down now. The problem what I also feel now is that sometimes people are not able to get good access towards this justice. Why? Maybe it might be because of the lack of implementation of various technologies, right? So, and then now we have also seen that the courts have also gone into a hybrid, like we saw during the pandemic, that there was a lot of video conferencing. Courts have got into hybrid models and all that. And now when it comes to those rural areas and all that, people might not be having access to those type of technologies, right? But now what I say is that the judiciary can also move in a certain way where access to justice is given towards technology into these rural areas and towards these rural areas. Now, when you're coming to the question of saying that now if these now if this now will they be really receiving justice if these cases have to be done faster? Now that is where the training of younger professionals or even the training of even experienced professionals comes into effect, right? So like there has to be a professional standards that's also being implemented continuously from the whole judiciary system. We can, for instance, we can even say take this model of what happens within the US, right? Now, we've always been knowing that maybe the public defender's office or the prosecution office, they're always full. Like they have a huge number of cases with them, right? But then there is also a certain success rate that's also there with them. Why? Is because everyone is being held towards a certain standard of professionalism. So if there is going to be good professionalism, there will always be a good access towards justice and the parties will be able to get justice.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That's very beautifully answered. Taking a keyword, you said technology, access to technology, in even the remotest areas. We've seen that, I mean, when it comes to solving cases faster, or even for lawyers these days, we are seeing legal tech emerging, especially in India now. Legal tech is emerging every now and then. In the era of technology, of legal technology, I would like to understand what are the tools that you commonly use.
So in the companies, right? So when we work with bigger corporates and all that, so the tools that have actually been using have been more of an internal tools, like have been just created within the company for their internal use, to just mainly just use it for document management. So like we have like different calendars and all that just set up saying that this is okay, this is going to be the life cycle of this contract. We'll have to go for renewals and all sorts of stuff. However, like when it comes to even legal technology and all nowadays, I've actually seen a couple of startups. I'm not able to collect the name right now, exactly which one was it. That they have, there's some startups that are coming up with the using of AI technology into contract review, which some of us actually do believe that this is going to become the future, especially in the field of contract review, where this AI technology is going to quickly just, like it's going to go through it, it's going to scan up the documents, it's going to pull out all the parameters that we're going to be needing, right? So, and then coming back to, again, the tools that I personally use, I'll be very honest with you, I've used every single, I use mostly Microsoft Office and every single other tool I find on Google, like docs, the Google cloud management and all this cloud technologies, drives. Those are the ones I really use. And apart from the internal tools of the company.
Fan of the cloud services, I see.
Yeah,
Great.
it gives us better accessibility all over the world.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, that's what I use personally. However, sometimes you have a lot of data, you have to really buy the premium version of that, which I already have. So you need extra 100 or 1,000 GBs to manage the data. That also happened. But anyways, coming back to you, in-house counselor, people are really fascinated, even the law firms, and everyone is fascinated about when we talk about in-house counselor. So can in-house legal departments in law, large corporations, be considered revenue generating departments? Because we see revenue generation generally in hands of chief sales officer, chief revenue officer. Even we have sales team and marketing team and revenue team. We have different teams. But can a at large in-house legal department be considered as revenue generating department?
Yes, so thank you so much for actually asking that question. So that's actually been one of the basic principles that I've always wanted to work with, especially with the companies I'm aligned with. So when it comes to revenue generating, first let's talk about, say that what is the first perception of having a legal department in the office, right? So they always are considered non-revenue generating, and they're always considered to be on the liability side of the balance sheet. But when we look at it, right, a lawyer always does not, it's like apart from all these legal aspects, he will always have to be seeing what is the best alternative to our approach. So in this aspect is actually what we also seen in our commercial mediations, in our arbitrations, in our negotiations aspect as well. So for instance, let's say that I am working towards another company. Like I'm in a mediation, let's say with another company. Now maybe we both will have something in mind. Maybe we want to come up with a proper financial settlement. But what we do instead, instead of maybe we might propose a different type of business itself to them. Right. So we might say that, hey, you guys are in this market. We would actually like to enter the market. Let's actually try to make a mediation. Let's try to make our settlement in a different aspect. Right. So and then also when a lawyer also, like when he is also looking into an in-house lawyer, right? He can only grow if the company also grows along with them.
Mhm.
So that's a very important aspect, which I've always found to be a big time part of an in-house lawyer's career. So in that aspect also, you can always advise to your company saying that, hey, these are emerging markets. And then actually, and through reading the various legislations, saying that these are the key legislations that we will be requiring to open pre-registrations. These are the compliances that we'll be needing to look into. And then maybe if this legislation actually goes through in the like the government passes this legislation, then we can actually get into this company, that we can get into this field as well. We can open up to new avenues and markets, right? So, and then also when even comes into IPR, right? Even in the field of IPR, for instance, we have all this we have the royalties, we have this the whole concept of royalties, right?
Mhm.
So then, even then, even then, the legal department can even talk about saying that, hey, if we're going to be charging them this much royalty, so we can put that's going to become revenue generation again, right?
Mhm. That's right.
So
That's
even
very
in the
true.
field of IPR and all that. So then that's the main aspect which I feel that the legal departments today, we all have to start focusing on. Saying that
That's
we
right.
have to open up new avenues for our own companies. Not wait for saying that I'm not going to wait for the sales guy to come back to me and saying that, hey, we have this, we have this. No, you have it and we have it, we know it. Let's just do it. Because if the company only benefits, hey, I mean, it's going to reflect back in our bonus checks, right?
I mean, beautiful. I mean, as you said that legal department of in an organization generally lies in the liability section of the balance sheet,
Yeah.
and the idea is to also consider them at the forefront because mediation, dispute resolution, all these things are also directly, indirectly part of revenue generation in many terms, as you have given a lot of examples.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
so it can be done both ways. Like obviously, you can just go for a settlement. You could go for a
mhm.
settlement. You could just take the best outcome and come out of it. But but then an alternative aspect of it is that why do you want if you can actually come up with something better? Like you went in for thinking you'll be making a settlement of $1 million, but then you're coming out with a $10 million business deal instead. Like which
Mhm.
one? Like obviously that would be working out much better.
So as one of your as I narrated your principle in starting, you just don't
Mhm.
need legal counsel in disputes arise. They can open new revenue generation avenues
Yeah.
for an organization. So there's a synergy between what you think and what you say. So beautiful along the way. Mediation and dispute resolution. I just want to go deeper in that, in a sense that what I've seen, but talking to a lot of lawyers, and I believe same would go with you. This is a skill that they learn after completing their law as a student. So once they come to the practice, takes a lot of time for them to understand what it is, and basically it's not part of their curriculum. So along with the skills of advocacy, which are of course required and shall be given, shall mediation and skills related to dispute resolution be made part of a law student's curriculum? What do you say on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I do think that these type of skills do need to be taught at the college level itself. Because see, when advocacy, yes, we're definitely going to be learning about it. But then when it comes to this aspects of learning about mediation, right? Mediation, what I've learned throughout my training, even throughout my training and practice, was that we actually peel back into the person's mindset. We try to uncover new aspects, like we try to actually look into the humanity of the individual, which is something which I feel that we are lacking in today's world in many aspects. So when we are actually teaching about mediation, we're trying to think about from the perspective of the other person. We're not trying to be into it's not confrontational, it's more like a partnership wise that we go into the aspects of mediation. So, and then in today's world, right, when we are trying to change the system, like going back to the first question, we're trying to make access towards justice. We're
Mhm.
trying to clear, like when the courts and everyone is trying to make the access towards justice or we're trying to move forward to create a new sorts of an environment, right? Like a whole new different justice system, like trying to reform the justice system. So where does it start from? It starts from the basic grassroots, which is where the student is in universities. It's from when they're being taught, saying that. So when these aspects are being taught, when mediation, advocacy, and all the different rules of dispute resolution are being taught towards them, we are teaching them actually we are changing the system, is what I believe. Is we're trying to bring out a better reform in the system. So if you so again, emphasizing on the point, saying that the why mediation needs to be taught, like mediation and mediation advocacy needs to be taught within schools. I believe that it's to just bring out the more human nature of people, to say, get them to understand and to teach them that everything in life does not need to be confrontational.
Beautiful. That's very, very beautifully put. I mean, I haven't seen it from that angle till now. But yeah, as I said, very beautifully put. If I can ask you one personal question, Anirudh,
Yeah.
I believe that you're a first generation lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, what brought you into the business of law, if I may call it?
So the first aspect was that, so my whole family, actually, everyone's into IT.
Okay.
Everyone's a software engineer. We've been in IT, and I've been seeing my fathers, my uncles, my mom, everyone working in the corporate sector ever since I was a small child. So first aspect was that, like how kids are like, oh my God, I don't want to be like Papa, so boring and all like that when we're like small kids and all like that. But then later on, it's like, I'm like, you know what, maybe I do want to be like that, but maybe just not maybe in the IT sense. So then that first got me into the corporate field. That's one way. So then, and then afterwards, the thing is that like I was always into social sciences and all when I was a kid. And then I always thought the best way how I could always do better for anyone else, even apart from myself, was always to join law, like to join the whole legal field, to take it up as a career. So I taken it up as a career and all like taken it up as a career after that forward. And then I think I was about 15 years old actually when I decided that I was going to be a lawyer. That is it.
That is that is sort of hard to believe, but understanding that being a first generation lawyer and you have a lot of uh, I mean the way you are putting things in perspective is like you're a third or fourth generation lawyer, you have law all over around it. And when you say that it was a plan since 15 years, so
Uh-huh.
now I understand where you're coming from exactly.
Yeah. And then I mean, BC being a first generation lawyer and all like that, it does come with its own drawbacks. Like there's a lot of difference, right? Like from other aspect, from different from other careers and all like that. We need to come up with a whole different mindset in being in the legal field. So it did have its difficulties, and making my mark also was not that easy at all. Even like today's mark, which I have made today, it was because of 24/7 hard work.
Mhm.
Continuous hard work, continuous hustling. I had to hustle every single day to try to make it even till this stage today. And I know for a fact that I definitely will have to put in more 200 to 300% more effort to even make it even further within this career. But what I can say is that even though if I'm a first generation lawyer, it's going to be hard, but then the fruit is going to be much more sweeter.
It's very, very. I don't think that we have anything to say after this, but as you said, I'm not sure who said this, I guess Steve Harvey or someone else said it. A tough time makes strong men or strong human. Strong human makes easy time make uh, easy situations, and then those easy
Yeah.
situations basically make again easy humans, or I should say loose humans, not that strong, and then the cycle goes on, so on and so forth. So you're on the right path. I'm no one to sort of comment on it, but still it has been a great discussion. I really loved it. I hope our audience also did. One last thing, where can our viewers find you if they want to get a hold of you?
So the best place to get me is on LinkedIn.
All right.
If you
So
can
it's
just message
just
me.
by Anirudh Gunturu.
Yeah, Anirudh Gunturu, ACIRB. That would be the title also next to my name. But then even if you type in Anirudh Gunturu, I think you should be able to find me like pretty easily. And then
Sure.
I'm always open for anyone who reaches out to me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or if it's any advice that's needed or any other, or you just want to catch up, anyone can always just drop me a message.
Sure. We'll also put Anirudh's LinkedIn profile in the description so that everyone can get a hold of him. And thank you very much for sharing such great insights with us, Anirudh, today. We, of course, look forward to having a great chat, having such great chats with you again in the future on other trending topics, apart from your practice in the international legal industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Which is all, my Andrew. Thank you very much. And for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Gunturu, please make sure that you like this video, you share this video, and also subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming in from industry leaders like Mr. Anirudh Gunturu. This was Savir for Let's Talk World signing off. Thank you very much.